I think I'm telling you they're bringing back Kevin. I am telling you this.
No, this is... Wait! No way! No freaking way. No way. Wait, no way. This...
It's not the meteor, I know that for sure.
Trask Industries.
Stark. You rearrange all the letters. S-T-A-R-K. Stark. Stark
Dude,
Industries.
You know what? You know what?
What?
There was rifts here the other day.
There was rifts here.
There were rifts here like yesterday or 2 days ago. So where those rifts are now, I wonder if that's going to bring another part of this stuff there too.
So rifts were here, but this wasn't here.
Another world is coming to this area.
So you're telling me season 5 is happening all over again? That's literally what you're telling me? Season 5 all over again? It's your best theory right now, sir.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's a very plausible one. I wouldn't put it past you because Galactus or whatever his name is, he's coming. But
yeah,
but what's up?
There's a rift right here. See?
Yo, you wanna see if we can find any more?
There's a sewage piece right here and another rift there. So I bet you these rifts are around here because that's what's summoning these things in, a rift. So I wonder if at the end of the season that there's going to be several of these pieces everywhere. Several
of these pieces. But yeah, what world? But what world would it be coming from? That's my question.
I think from the don't break it. Don't break it. Don't break it. Don't break it.
I want to break it.
I wonder if this is coming from the chapter 1 map.
Chapter 1. Are you hearing yourself right now? Chapter 1?
Yes.
This did not come from. Okay, well then why is Tony Stark on in the chapter 1 map? I want to know.
Because there's every single character from every single season and from every single chapter, they're in the same chapter. They're in every chapter.
What?
Chapter 1 characters are in this chapter. This chapter's characters are in chapter 1.
So you're saying we switched realities, basically.
Somewhat.
But why? Why would they get a map that's covered in water and we get a map that's halfway covered in water? Like, that makes no sense. You're losing me, dude.
Because they had to give us some, because the chapter 1 map was destroyed. So the visitors had to give us something to stay at.
And you're saying they sent you.
If your phone broke or something, then you'd just get a new phone again. You'd get a new phone.
Right, but I'd keep that phone permanently.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're saying this is
here permanently, is going to be there permanently, but this chapter is going to get to be a mixture with the previous chapter.
That sort of makes sense, even though you constantly said chapter over and over again. But look, this is the reason why I say, why would it be the chapter 1 map? Look at these freaking road lines. Those were never introduced in chapter 1.
No. Because they're gonna refix the chapter 1 again. This is just a backup for us. Chapter 2 is a backup.
So you're saying Jonesy, when we saw that what's it called, thing happen, that explosion, yeah, the event. So you're telling me when we saw that, he was talking about we're just going to an alternate reality?
Okay, so you know there's 7 visitors, right? 7 different visitors.
7 visitors.
7.
Right.
Each visitor is from a different chapter.
No, it's from a different universe. It's from an alternate universe.
A different universe is a different chapter.
True, true.
So there's gonna be 7 different chapters.
That would make sense.
Because we had chapter 1, which was
That was the visitor.
Yeah, which was the visitor, and then the scientist too, because the scientist was his creation, which doesn't really count as a visitor.
I mean, he
So
does sort of count as a visitor.
Does sort of, but he doesn't really quite 100%. So what I'm saying is that chapter 1 is the visitor. This chapter is the paradiagram, and then chapter 3 is going to be another visitor, and chapter 4 is going to be another one. Chapter 5 is going to be a different one. Chapter 6 is going to be a different one. Chapter 7 is going to be a different one.
So in all, you're telling me there are going to be 70 different, what's it called? Seasons. 70.
Yeah, 70.
70 seasons until Epic Games finally gives it up.
Not until they give it up.
So until the quote-unquote multiverse is saved.
Not really, but what's going to happen is that we're in a loop. We are in a game. We are in a simulation.
Well, we know that because if I kill you right now, you're just gonna go up in a freaking what's it called? You're just gonna go up in a freaking
The simulation is called a simulation because it's a never-ending cycle.
Wait, imagine this is the Matrix.
The funny thing is, when the visitors say the loop, they mean the simulation. They're trying to break the simulation, trying to set us free from this, from our, like.
So you're saying, okay, so you're saying, yeah, okay, so you're saying, this is what you're saying. We're plugged into a video game, and it's like the Matrix, except you die, you come back to life. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
That sort of makes sense, but at the same time it doesn't. Like, I can see us being plugged into a game. That I can see. I can see that perfectly fine.
When they say the bridge as well, that is the connection
between all the worlds.
Between our world and the Fortnite world. So basically, when we play our game, the game Fortnite is basically it's like our thing. It's just our stuff. It's our loop. It's our bridge. Because if you think of a game and you play a game, the computer that you play it on is the bridge to take you to the next part of the game.
So you're talking about like it's a level. So you're saying these are levels.
Somewhat, yeah. That's why there's so many tragic disasters in the Fortnite island. All these disasters and everything are happening is because it's all a test for a simulation because Save the World is real life. That's why you can hear them talk normally. But if you take the Save the World, like say as if you took Ray from Save the World and you put her in the Battle Royale, she'd sound like, oh, because Battle Royale is a simulation. Save the World is not a simulation. So what they're doing is they having Save the World as a
wait
as a simulation to practice to stay alive and to survive.
Okay. So how many characters are in Save the World? Like original characters, how many are there?
Okay. There is Penny. There's a ninja, there's a Outlander character, then there's there's Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez.
There's Jonesy, there's the black default, there's the girl defaults, and all of them. That's why you see in Battle Royale, there's so many different versions of the Save the World characters. As Ramirez, there's a Taxi, there's Racer Ramirez, there is Ray Bomber, Dark Bomber, and there's Commando, and there's so many Jonesies. There's Taxi, there's Racer Jonesy, all kinds of different Jonesies. There's all kinds of every single default in the game. There's so many different versions of them.
So you're saying that we're defaults, but just a different version?
Basically, yeah.
You are not a default, first off.
They scan themselves from Save the World. They scan themselves and put them inside of this simulation, because if you know that person, then you'll react differently to them, not from you knowing them, and for you not knowing them, you'll react differently. Because say as if there's just a default skin in the game, there's just like just a person that you don't even know in the game as a character, and if they die, then you're like, oh well, that's sad. Sucks to be them. Luckily, it's not me. Luckily for me, it's not me.
Sorry.
I wouldn't care all that. But if it was a person that you know from real life, you would react totally differently. Because say as if Ayana was like, as she's from real life, and then she's put into the game and you're in the simulation, you would care for her. But if it was someone else, you wouldn't care for them.
Nah, dude, not necessarily.
Like, not quite the same way that you would care for someone that you know.
Right.
That's why they had so many of them in the simulation, for you to care for them. And you react differently if they get hurt. Basically like a movie, like a main character. If a main character dies, then you get sad because it's a person that you've gotten to know over the time that the show or the movie has been going on. You've gotten to know them and who they are. If you didn't know who they were and didn't get to learn about them, then you wouldn't really honestly care. That's why there's main characters and side characters. Side characters, you don't get to know very much about them. If you're watching a movie, like, say as if Five Nights at Freddy's was a movie, and
it does have a movie.
And if there was a night guard that you didn't know about, or didn't care, or didn't even know anything about them at all, and if they died, then you'd be like, oh, dang it. But if they were someone that you knew, different story. Completely different story.
So it's like a know and tell, is what you're saying.
Yep.
So if you know them, you're gonna have compassion. You don't know them, you're not gonna have any compassion.
Exactly.
So they're playing some sick game, is what you're saying.
Not really a sick game. It's helpful. Because if you were a person that was surviving a zombie attack, and if you were somewhere safe, like inside of a base with a steel door that can't get opened without power, and you're inside of there, then you would take that time to practice. And you would figure your way out about stuff. You'd figure out all kinds of things, like figure out because if you don't push yourself, then you don't know what your potential could be. That's what the simulation is for, to see what your potential is. And once you learn, if you use the simulation for a certain amount of time, and you learn, then you can go out and you can become a hero for Save the World. If you don't, then you're either a survivor like Dennis. He's a survivor because he hasn't learned about the simulation yet. But Ramirez has. That's why she's such a professional grenader and a attacker and a soldier. Is because she used the simulation. Which if you use the simulation, that means that there will be so many versions of you created.
So you're telling me Jonesy knows about it?
Jonesy is the head creator of it.
But why create a version of yourself and make it seem as though you know nothing of what is going on?
Because it's like a start. Because if you start off like as a warrior or something, or as a soldier, you wouldn't know anything. But if you use something that would help you, then you'll learn things. Which Jonesy in Battle Royale is a main character, yet he's also a side character. Which also, there's Stormbase Kyle, the constructor from Save the World, right? Guess what? The Marauders, the heavy Marauder with the reindeer and mask. If you go in replay mode, and then you put your camera through the mask, you can see Kyle's face. Save the World characters are Marauders. So they're evolving from Battle Royale and in Save the World. Because if you go and if you're in Save the World and you go to the area where you upgrade your stats and stuff, like your fortitude and all of that, then you can see a guy with a beanie on his head, and he has blonde hair and a beard, and he is one of the creators for the shield pots, for the shields. Because you can see there's a stove with a boiler, and there's a slurp juice sitting on top of the boiler boiling. Which means, in Save the World time, they are using the stuff from the simulation that they use to practice in Save the World.
So you're saying they made a computerized game version of everybody and decided to play the game as a simulation?
Yes, as a practice run to teach you how to survive in any kind of situation that you're in.
That makes sense. Alright, can we stop theorizing for a couple of minutes?
Okay.
It's been 17 minutes straight about you theorizing.
I just got a peely jellyfish.
A peely jellyfish? What the fuck is it? Oh, I can check my fish now.
Sick.
Okay. Oh, it's 48 centimeters. Okay, so the biggest fish that I caught is a blue flopper.
How big is it?
48 centimeters.
And is 94 centimeters or something like that? Let me check. 94.8 centimeters.
You said what?
94.8 centimeters is the biggest fish that I've caught.
Wow. I need something to eat.
Oh. Feels so good not explaining the Fortnite storyline anymore. It gets tiring after a while.
Yeah, it really